Hello YouTube, this is DVD Review Studios here, and today I'm going to be doing a collection video of my Simpsons VHS tapes, which in context to a video I posted about 6 months ago, I essentially showed off what was my VHS tape collection from my childhood, and unfortunately these tapes were missing from The Simpsons. I did not know where they were at the time. I presumed them to have already gone to the charity shop, but luckily not. I found them in a separate box in the loft. And so before these ones do end up going to the charity shop, suffering the same fate as all the others, I thought I would do a quick follow-up video and show them off. So obviously this will be a huge hit of nostalgia for me personally. I watched these videotapes religiously growing up, and they are definitely some of my favourite episodes included on here. And as you can see, pretty much all of them are very much worse for wear, cracked, scuffed, bits missing from the cases, but very much loved, and it's going to be a shame to get rid of them. But like I mentioned in my last video focusing on tapes, I just don't have the means to keep them, I don't have the means to play them, and it's just not really something I would really want to hang on to be honest. So I'll let things go as it would be, and before I get rid, I thought I would do a quick video on them. So let's begin first of all with the Simpsons collection tape, Call of the Simpsons. The Simpsons collection was a lineup of Simpsons videos that had about 2 or 3 episodes on each. This one has 2 episodes, which are Call of the Simpsons and Bart the Genius. And this one I think I grabbed from a school fair perhaps. It's definitely worse for wear with all the sticker residue, and it won't even close properly as such. But yeah, I remember seeing a lot more of these. I remember seeing one that had the episode Life in the Fast Lane, I think it's called, where Marge ends up going bowling after receiving that very selfish birthday gift, the huge green bowling ball with Homer written on it. I thought that was quite amusing, and one of my favourite Season 1 episodes. And these are both from Season 1. I don't actually think I watched Call of the Simpsons until I got this tape back in the day, so that's quite interesting. And there's the tape itself, Call of the Simpsons, all the way from 1991, which is very surprising. Next up we have a tape from a box set, which I believe is part 1 of Season 2 released onto VHS. So this is, Year 2, Part 1, Tape 3. And this is honestly one of my favourites. I just love that front cover artwork. Bart there with the blue shirt. And 3 episodes on this one. We have Itchy and Scratchy and Marge, which is one of my personal favourite Marge-themed episodes, where she attempts to abolish cartoon violence in Springfield. Bart gets hit by a car, one of my absolute favourites. I loved the lawyer character of Lionel Hutz, who was sadly retired in Season 10, I want to say. And this is a really good episode. I love the segment where Mr. Burns recollects on the car accident involving Bart, and he basically just tells it from the perspective that he is basically the hero in the scenario.
No! Take me! I'm old!
And that's what happened. What are you looking at me like that for?
Such a weird episode, but certainly one of my favourites. I love the depiction of the devil in that episode as well. Something you don't see too often in modern Simpsons anyway. And next up we have One Fish, Two Fish, Blowfish, Bluefish, where Homer is predicted to die after ingesting a poisonous fish, and thankfully doesn't. So that's quite a heartwarming episode. The next lot of tapes were actually all re-released onto DVD under the label known as Simpsons Classics. And this one is Springfield Murder Mysteries, featuring 4 episodes. We have Who Shot Mr. Burns Part 1 and Part 2, Black Widower, and Cape Fear. And I actually never saw Who Shot Mr. Burns Part 2 until I actually got this videotape all those years ago. I remember seeing Part 1 on Channel 4, and I tuned in every single day, hoping they would actually show Part 2, and they never did. And so when I got this in hand, it was incredible to actually see Part 2 for the first time ever. We also have Black Widower, which is a very good episode where Sideshow Bob attempts to marry Selma to then kill her. And Bart, of course, foils that plot. And then we have Cape Fear, where Sideshow Bob comes back for revenge. So, yeah, very nice artwork on the front cover. And there's the tape, a little bit more plain than the other ones, to say the least. Next up we have Bart Wars, The Simpsons Strike Back, another collection of 4 episodes, and I absolutely loved that front cover artwork with Homer as Vader and Bart as Luke Skywalker. And the 4 episodes on here we have Mayor to the Mob, guest starring Mark Hamill himself, and what a great episode where Homer becomes Mayor Quimby's bodyguard. Dog of Death, where sadly Santa's little helper goes through quite a dangerous operation. The Secret War of Lisa Simpson, where Lisa actually wants to join Bart in a military camp where Bart is trying to have his behaviour straightened out. And Marge Be Not Proud is ironically the next episode where Bart gets caught shoplifting, and that's one of my favourite Christmas-themed episodes of the show. So there you go, that is Bart Wars, The Simpsons Strike Back, a great design for the label on there as well. Next up we have the Simpsons.com, which again has some fantastic front cover artwork. A couple of stickers to note on this one includes 2 episodes unseen on BBC Two, applies to the UK before the 1st of March 2001, so not only is this tape nearly 20 years old, which is mind-boggling, but this was indeed released before Channel 4 got the rights to air The Simpsons in the UK on TV. And also includes extra footage, Think Frink, exclusive to video, which I would imagine that would have moved over to the DVD release of this as a special feature perhaps. And I did fail to mention when showing off Bart Wars that some of the spines on the later releases of Simpsons tapes actually had corresponding spines. So if you had a collection of, say, I think 4 was the maximum on them, all 4 of them would form an image together. And so I do have 2 more that will form an image for this one. I am missing one of them, which had Bart on it. I think that was On Your Marks, Get Set, Go. I'll throw an image on screen somewhere so then you can see what I'm referring to. And I'll quickly show the Bart Wars one, which is very different. So as you can see, we've got Maggie, the pets, and Homer's leg. Classy. So, yeah, that's the spine on that one. And, yeah, I thought that was quite interesting. It really made me want to collect all the Simpsons tapes when I was younger, but they were quite hard to find. And I'll quickly go through the episodes on here. So we have Treehouse of Horror 10, which is one of my favourite Treehouse of Horror episodes. I love the segment where Marge accidentally runs over a werewolf Flanders. Itchy and Scratchy Land, one of the best holiday-themed episodes from The Simpsons as far as I'm concerned. Daz Bus, where the Springfield Elementary school children get stranded on an island. And Homer Goes to College speaks for itself, I suppose. I loved the roommates Homer had, those 3 nerd characters. Definitely 3 of my favourite Simpsons side characters, which are very underused for sure. And here is the artwork from the tape itself. This was released in the year 2000 according to the copyright info. And there's some amusing artwork on the front. Next up we have Raiders of the Lost Fridge, a very obvious parody of Indiana Jones' Raiders of the Lost Ark. There's the spine with Maggie and Lisa, a little bit of damage there unfortunately. And on the back we have the 4 food-themed episodes. So we have Guess Who's Coming to Criticize Dinner, where Homer becomes a very arrogant food critic. King Size Homer, where Homer literally will do anything to gain weight in order to claim disability privileges at the power plant. Burns the Carpenter Kraftwerk, which is by far one of my absolute favourite episodes of The Simpsons, where Burns sells the nuclear power plant to German investors that make some very interesting changes to the plant. And finally, Lisa the Vegetarian, guest starring, should I say, Paul and Linda McCartney as themselves. And they actually agreed to come on the show as long as Lisa would actually stay a vegetarian for the duration of the show itself. And I thought that was a very interesting bit of trivia surrounding that episode. And here is the tape, again, just like the Simpsons.com, it came out in the year 2000, and there's the front sticker. And finally we have Viva Los Simpsons, which funnily enough was the first ever Simpsons videotape I ever got. So there's the front cover with Homer dressed as Elvis Presley, there's the spine with Marge. On the back we have the episodes, of course, with Homer the Clown, where Homer literally takes up clown college classes. Springfield, where Mr. Burns opens a casino and Marge ends up developing a gambling addiction. Viva Ned Flanders, where Flanders has what I would term as a midlife crisis, and Homer offers to step in, only for them both to end up going to Vegas on a bender and end up with brand new wives. And finally, one of my all-time favourite episodes, Homer at the Bat, where Mr. Burns puts together a softball team for the plant, and then slowly, one by one, ends up replacing all the players with an array of famous American players. And yeah, so there is the tape, not as glorious as the other one, sadly, in terms of artwork. And that's it for the Simpsons videotapes. So thanks for watching my overview of my Simpsons VHS tape collection. I really hope you enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts on these tapes. Did you have any of these when you were growing up? And please subscribe down below for more.